here's sound. So now you can at least hear us. By the way, we use this little microphones. If you're doing any videos, you can buy these microphones. I think 2 of these together as a pair that plug right into your iPhone. If you're doing any videos, hold on a second. You got feedback. These microphones. Sorry. I think 2 of these together. Here we go. Turn it down. Okay. They're like $30. They're incredible. This really worked really well. Anyway, so we're going to pop this one on me. Tami will be here in a couple of minutes. She's actually putting the doggies up. They're running around in the backyard. So this one is going to be about puppies. Puppies from when they are born to puppies till they leave home. So that 10-week period, that's what we want to basically make this about. Now, you can ask other questions, but the ones I'm going to take care of probably first are going to be those ones that pertain to puppies. Okay, so let's see if we've got any questions yet. Let's have a look. So, Blue Pharaoh Kennels joined us. I don't recognize that name. Great, nice to see you again. Tiff Turk says mic check, 1, 2. Yep, I think that should be working now. I didn't have my microphone turned on, I do now. Debo says, is it safe feeding raw food mixed with wet food and kibble every day? Yeah, I mean, so, you know, I've got a video I'm going to release here that I did with my sister, my sister Debbie was actually the main operating officer for Wellness Pet Food, so she knows quite a bit about this. And she's been in the industry for many years. I've got a video that I put together with her about 2 weeks ago. I'm going to release that probably tonight or tomorrow. And it goes into this in great detail. But the answer is, you know, what food should you feed and why? And so I'm just going to draw on this briefly because it pertains to puppies somewhat. So the first thing is, if a lot of you are doing raw foods, and just be careful with raw foods because, you know, you can get salmonella and things like that can infect you more likely than your dogs. And you put these things in the fridge and you've got things like raw chicken in there. Just be careful if you're handling this stuff. So, you know, when you have raw food that's been around for some time, it can be a problem. And by the way, raw food that stays in a dog's bowl because it's not eating it all up, that's in the bowl for more than a couple hours, also can present problems. But I think there's nothing wrong. And by the way, I've been mucking around with cooked foods for my dogs, and mixing that with kibble is absolutely fine. It's a great way of getting them started on it. So you can mix all these things together. Why would you do it? One of the reasons would be is because your dog's not eating very well, especially pregnant dogs. You can run into problems. There's Tami doing something. She's going to get in the cupboard. What are you doing, Tami? Oh, okay. There you go. She's mucking around in the background there. But yeah, so yeah, one of the reasons that I'm starting to muck around with fresh food is primarily because my dogs like it a lot more, and I want my dogs to enjoy life, and I think that they don't particularly enjoy the kibble because it's pretty boring. But there's no reason to say that you can't mix more together, especially when you've got a pregnant dog that's not eating very well. There's your phone, Tami.
I had to treat my dogs for their
grab that.
coming in.
Nobody can see you yet.
Nobody can see me yet?
No. I'm going to move this around a little bit.
You're going to hit
All
my
right.
foot.
Okay, let's go down a little bit.
No, don't hook me.
Okay, here's a microphone. We're going to get Tami set up here. Here's a mic.
Oh, sorry.
Here's a mic. Okay, you happy with that? Can I move it into the hair? All right.
Okay.
Good Lord, we've got lots of people joined today.
I just got my girls in. This is
Sonny
their
Jones
treats.
is here, says hello, hello. What are you showing them?
These are my treats that I give my
Do I get
girls. You'd probably eat it just to gross everybody out. No, these are pretty good. This is turkey and berry chewies. And this is honey peanut butter for adult dogs.
If we get more than 50 people joined today, I will eat one of these treats live on camera, and you can all decide which one I'm going to eat. And I will eat it. I will eat it. I won't cheat.
No, they love these. This is their big treats that they love to get.
Debo says, my female is a micro, 24 pounds. She has, Safe has puppies, the male that's 18 pounds. I'm not sure what you're asking, but those
I don't think is a micro.
Well, it depends on what dog it is, but I mean, you know.
Oh, okay.
At 18 pounds with a Frenchie, I would call it a micro region. But
no.
Okay.
16.
Okay.
And 12
right.
is micro.
Okay, all right, very good.
Yeah.
All right. Bifford Great Dane says, ever use Betty Lab's pregnancy test? No, we sell pregnancy tests, so we're going to sell our product. But a relaxing blood pregnancy test is a good way, and even the faintest of line probably means your dog is pregnant. So you've got a very faint line, probably got a pregnant dog.
Yeah, and we sell that on My Breeder Supply, pregnancy check.
Yep. And remember to look right there. And my experience with this on the relaxing pregnancy that we sell anyway is if they come up with a line, your dog's pregnant. I've never had a false positive. Now you can have a false negative because you do the test
Kit
early.
came up with a line, and she's starting to show a division in her nipple area where she looks like she's got little boobies, you know, little cleavage, and her ribs are spreading out. So we've got a pregnant dog with God Stopper, our full fluffy new shade Isabella boy out of Willy Wonka.
Yes.
He's this little boy. This is his first pregnancy
right.
on a female, so he's proven.
He's proven he's pretty. And we'll go to the wait. See the puppies may have 3 heads and 1 leg. You know. Actually, those would be special puppies.
No.
Tifter always has good comments and says here, talking about what Debo said. He says, when first introducing raw, basically what he's saying is that do it gradually. Don't just slap them on one thing.
Yeah.
I think whenever you're changing diets, if you can, like when we send a puppy home, because this is all supposed to be about puppies.
When you transition their food, we give them our food, which is Life Abundance Puppy, and we send a baggie full. And so that way that they can go home and eat a regular amount the first night, and then half and half the next day, and then less of half with the whatever food they're feeding, if they want to do that. And 9 chances out of 10, our customers with the puppies will end up transitioning their dogs to Life Abundance Puppy or Life Abundance Adult, whatever they need, which is great food. We sell it on MyBreederSupply.com.
Well, we need to take care of this one. Charles Antwi, my dog is in labor. So as we're speaking, your dog is in labor.
Hopefully you've got a traveling incubator and a heated whelping system and an oxygen concentrator.
Okay, you're getting ahead of yourself here. I don't know what kind of dog it is.
Oh, okay.
So
we always think it's a French Bulldog.
Since she's in labor and she's birthed 1, and it's been 4 hours, no other puppies have been delivered, and she isn't pushing any recommendations. So the first thing is we don't know what kind of dog it is.
No.
So we're going to assume that it's not a French Bulldog, and it's a bigger dog like a Lab or something, that typically can have puppies naturally. So let's talk about that.
Every once in a while you might have an incident.
Yes, absolutely.
Goes on for a long time.
Well, then that's the question, isn't it? So what she's asking is, it's been 4 hours and no puppies. Is that a concern?
Well, you want to watch her real close, because we had a female that had she's a French Bulldog.
Yeah,
you need to go.
Well,
I think.
Well, let them, before they run off to the...
Did they go to the vet and have her check to see if she can have them naturally? That's the thing. What size of stud did you use? How big is your female? How big is the stud you used? These are questions that need to be asked.
They are, but she's in it right now. She or he, Charles, is in it right now. Charles is in it right now. So what's our recommendation? Here's what you should do, Charles. Go get a tub of Vaseline and get 2 big dollops of it and get it all the way up in a vulva and get your fingers around and get her lubed up as best you possibly can. The problem you've got here is that French Bulldogs have narrow hips and puppies have big heads and they can get stuck. So if you're not having puppies for more than 4 hours, this is especially if you've got green discharge or the water's broken without any puppy, these are signs that you've got a stuck puppy and you need to go to the vet.
If it's a green discharge, you've got bleeding somewhere. So
you've got a separated placenta and you don't have very long.
Yeah.
If you
want to save the litter, you want to save mama. You don't want to lose mama. And you could... so if you've got an emergency vet.
Yeah. So no, we don't want to give Charles a hard time here, but our advice is this. If you think you're going to try and go down this natural whelp, which we don't recommend in French Bulldogs, the things that you need to be aware of is, number 1, how many puppies there are there. Get an x-ray done. Look for large puppy, bigger than the rest, because that's a sure sign of the problem.
Well, you want to make sure she's able to be big enough in the back area.
It's hard to tell that, but yes, you can look. I don't disagree with that.
X-ray.
X-ray, how many puppies? That way you know when you're done. That way you know if you've got a stuck puppy and it's not coming out. So you know how many puppies. You can get an idea about whether there may be a big puppy in there, because you can't tell that without an X-ray.
Or breech.
Right, and then the third thing is, get supplies on hand and have a vet on standby in case you get into trouble, which I suspect...
Have dental string. If you bought our puppy care kit. We've got the dental string in there, we've got the Vaseline, we've got the gloves, we got all the things that you need for delivery. The little suction tube. Oh, we've been caught like that when a female went in early. And so, I mean, you know, it happens to everybody when something goes early. But you try to prevent those.
I'm not sure what this means, but before I can, who asked another question, I have a smut-coloured dog. What is a smut-coloured dog? He was spawned smut, but as the days went by, into 1 week, he grew a dark black spot on the hind side and more black spots on his chest. You have to tell us what a smut is. I have no idea what a smut is.
Is it Frenchie? I've
know.
never heard.
I don't know.
Smut.
I don't know.
That's news to us. Let us know.
I don't think so, because the picture they've got there is not of a Frenchie.
What picture?
Well, it's above the little sign, the little...
Okay,
right.
okay.
When breeding dogs, how far back in lineage should you go before breeding with the same male? So what we're talking about here is at what point should you do line breeding, cross breeding? And the answer to this is the AKC has no control over this. You can breed a son to a mother or a daughter to a father, and AKC will still let you have AKC registration. So they've got no say in this. They don't. What I'm getting at is they don't have any rules and regulations, so you can't do it. The problem you've got is the closer the lineage is, then, for instance, give you an example. If you had two dogs, brother and sister, and you bred them together, you would have very little genetic diversity, only about 50%. I mean, you've got, and what's the problem here? The problem is this. Tami has some terrible genes that she doesn't know about. You do. I have some terrible genes that I don't know about. And everybody watching this have also got some awful genes. The chances are that the genes that Tami has that are bad are not the same genes that I have that are bad. And so consequently, our offspring don't pair up those two copies of a bad gene. And so consequently, we might carry it with our children, but we won't be afflicted by it. Now, if you start not going back, if you start breeding back parents to offspring, you don't have much genetic diversity. So it's very likely that the bad gene is present in both the offspring and the parent or the grandparent, and you run into problems. So how far back would you go? If you go back to great-grandparents, you've got 8 fold back there. You've got 8 people, you've got 8 generations. You've got 2 parents, you've got mother and father, you've got 4 grandparents, and then you've got 8 grandparents. So you've got a diversity of 8, if I can get the figures up there right. So you've got a 12.5% run only to problem. It's not bad. I wouldn't go back sooner than that. I don't like the idea, certainly, of breeding parents to offspring, or even grandparents, personally, if you know it. Unless you've got some good reason. Here's the reason. You're in the showroom, for instance, and you are looking for a very special thing that you're trying to develop, and you've got it in a couple of dogs that are related, and you're prepared to take the chance of bringing them together, that you might have a problem, but you're trying to produce this very special dog because you're trying to win something like, the AKC showroom stuff. Hey, you take a chance, nothing illegal about it, but you are taking a chance. Personally, for us, doing it for healthy, happy dogs, we are not going to go back that close. Anyway, answer that one.
Which one are you by? Which one are you on?
Well, I want questions about puppies, so I'm going to start picking them here in a little bit.
Well, somebody says, what is NKB?
Okay, I've got to that one there.
Oh, you're...
Well, maybe not. But NKB would mean that of the 2 copies that you could have on the brindle locus, you have 1 copy. And N means you don't have it. KB means you have it. If it was NN, that dog would not have brindle. If it was KB, that dog would have 2 copies and would give that copy to every single puppy that it produced, and all of its offspring would consequently show brindle, because it's a dominant gene and it takes a single copy. So it's an unusual gene, yeah.
So this Debio...
Well, let me just finish this here.
Okay.
Can brindle be expressed only in the base coat? I'm not sure exactly what you mean here, but the answer to this is a single copy. If you produce a puppy that has a single copy of brindle, it will show brindle. It may not be dramatically brindle. It's kind of funny how this works, but it will be brindle and consequently will produce some brindle puppies in its future. So I hate to...
It's a brindle gene. It's a gene. It's in there.
It's in there. And
forever.
it only takes a single copy to be expressed.
Yeah.
Like everything else, except for moral, just about everything else, like for instance, Pied, Blue,
Right.
Chocolate, they have to have 2 copies. So if you want a blue dog, it's got to be little d, little d. If you want a cream dog, it's got to be little e, little e. If you just get a dog that's little e, big E, it will be a cream carrier, but it will not be cream. But with brindle, single copy shows.
Yeah, and I've heard the term, oh, you can breed it out. Right? No, you can't breed it out because it's there forever. Half of the puppies will be brindle, half won't.
Well, if you mean,
or the whole litter will be brindle.
Yeah, but if you meant this, if you had a brindle dog and you produced puppies from it, some of them are brindle and some aren't, you chose the non-brindle ones, and you then carried on with those, you've got rid of the brindle.
Well, that's not breeding it out because the dog has brindle.
Well,
it's there forever.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. Okay, so she said, would she be able to have pups if I breed the 2 18-pound, breed 2 an 18-pound Frenchie stud to a 24 short Frenchie female? Yeah, I don't know if you're asking me, would she be able to have puppies naturally? Why take the chance?
If you want to
have a
have
C-section,
puppies,
please.
if you want to try to do this naturally, which again we don't recommend in a French Bulldog, get a big fat mum, a big long, big girl, 30+ pound girl, and breed her back to an 18-pound boy, and you've got a better chance of having small puppies.
Because you don't know the grandparents' gene, if somebody's going to pop out being big from a grandparents down the road.
That's the problem.
So French Bulldogs, they have big heads. You got to be careful when you're having not having a C-section, having naturally. Please always go to your vet, make sure that she's big enough to do that, see how many puppies, so you know how many puppies in there. But my suggestion, it's not worth it to me.
I agree.
Have a C-section.
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, especially for us, a C-section around here is like, $800, could be less if you plan it.
Yeah,
but if you look at the
can
cost
find
of
a
it,
country vet.
Yeah, but the point here is
Do
that
your homework on finding vets that are going to be cheaper for you, that have done C-sections on short-nosed
So the
dogs.
possibility of losing a puppy is it's an emotional stress on you, it's a financial loss on you,
Not
and it's
just
dangerous to
a
your dog.
puppy, you could endanger the whole litter or the mother.
Absolutely,
so
absolutely.
it's not worth it to me. Says, I have 2 girls, dude, exactly a week apart. Should I keep them in separate rooms or boxes in the same room? Okay. Yeah, if they're getting along together, you just be, have an ear listening when they're playing and stuff. I think they should be just fine together. After they've had puppies, you want to definitely watch that. Hopefully you have the heated whelping system like we have, where they're in their own area of a cage with the heated whelping system, and you don't have to worry. What?
I got to 48. I'm going to have to eat one of these damn treats. Oh, I can see this coming up now. People dropped off. One person dropped off. Good. Hey, if it gets to 49, start dropping off, please. I don't want to eat a treat.
How early can you do that pregnancy test?
Well, I want to say something else about what you just said there about these puppies.
Okay. Well,
so we have been in a situation where we've had 2 dogs have lived at the same time.
Yeah.
And sometimes, one dog can get pissed if another dog goes in there and starts messing with their puppies. So just what
and sometimes they don't mind.
And sometimes they don't mind. And sometimes you can actually...
So it's, your females.
We've been in a situation where we had a litter where I think a single puppy in one and a 6 or 7 in the other. And we took the singleton and put it with the other puppies and let the other mum dry up and be done with it. And it made it easier on us, and mum was happy with it. So just be careful. Yeah.
If you know your females, then it's probably more than likely okay. But our heated whelping system, they're in their own crate or cage with their babies, and they can't get out. So, when they go out to potty, they go out to potty together. But boy, they're going to get back in their own beds. I promise you that, because they want their own babies.
That's good. That's a good point. If you have a setup where the mums can get out of their kennels, but you've got 2 in the same area and they could get out and intermix, I would not think that is
a baby.
Good idea at all. You may have bad things happen. You don't know when.
That's why I said have an ear listening. Don't go off to work and leave them like that at all.
You would never leave 2 dogs together where they can interact without you being there. Right.
No,
exactly.
no.
That's the point here, right?
Yeah.
So back to this Charles Antwi guys. There are Frenchies. She does have an X-ray. There are 3 in the X-ray. She's had 1 puppy and it's been 4 hours. I wouldn't wait much longer. I mean, if it was a big litter, she'd probably start squirting them out quicker. Since it's a small litter, it may take longer between puppies. But generally, the rule of thumb is, if it's been more than 3 hours between puppies, that's of times to be concerned. I'd be getting on the phone and at least finding out who is there, can do something for you, so that you've got a plan B. Because I don't think you have a plan B right now, and that's a mistake.
Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C if you have to.
Right.
Somebody's asking about the home pregnancy test, able to take blood from to check as well. Yes.
You have to take blood to the
Yeah.
test. Yeah. There are some tests out that don't require taking blood. The ones that we sell does require that you draw blood. It's easy to do. We do include needles and syringes with the kit. I think right now Cody has a set of 5 tests that have got over a year's lifespan. Includes the needles and syringes, and I think that's $72. So it's like $12 a test. It's not very expensive.
Yeah, and that's on mybreedersupply.com.
Right.
My dog is in labor, birth one. Okay, we've already done that
Extraordinary, beautiful. By the way, if you have not, oh, we're at 50. Give me one of those treats.
Which one would you like, honey?
Well,
Would you like the turkey berry chewies, or would you like the peanut butter honey? Oh, yeah, make Jugs eat the honey peanut butter because he hates peanut butter. We'll make him eat that one.
Yeah, I like peanuts. It's like peanut butter. There we go. Just throw the bag so everyone is not cheating you.
Yeah.
What does it smell like?
Smells
Good
just
Lord,
like
that's
peanut
big.
butter. No, you got to eat it.
Can I see what the size of the other ones are?
You ate it. No.
This one's huge.
No, eat it.
Good Lord.
It's very good. Honey peanut butter recipe.
Oh, that is delicious. That is really good. That is delicious.
Oh, you get, okay.
That's good. No, that really is good. Now,
we sell those on mybreedersupply.com.
we could put these out and have a dinner party and put these out on a plate, and people would eat them and come back and eat more.
That's good stuff. My dogs love them.
Good.
The next one he eats, if we get 75,
I'll eat one of those.
he'll eat one of these.
Yeah.
Turkey berries.
It's actually surprisingly good.
Turkey berries. Turkey and berries treats, chewies, not turkey berries.
Lord, I hope not.
Oh, how funny.
But I think this brings up a point here that, the food that you feed, for the most part, tastes pretty bland and very boring. And that's really a shame for a dog, in my opinion, because they've got a better sense of smell and taste than we do. And yet we're feeding them stuff that's really very unappetizing. It's really a shame. And, this is supposed to be a treat. And by God, it is a treat compared to what they're normally eating. Very good. All right. Okay.
Ooh, here, no, that Tiff put on there. Have to make sure her hips are wide enough. This is if you're having natural. You have to make sure her hips are wide enough for a natural birth. She has had a Frenchie birth, natural, and the second one became stuck. One birth natural, the second one became stuck.
Right.
We had to do emergency C-section.
Yeah, right. So how do you even tell the hips are wide enough?
And she says, I am highly against inbreeding and or line breeding.
Well,
this is a huge problem in the Frenchie world. Yeah.
We are too. Okay, India and Reynolds. I have a 1-year-old blue-pied Frenchie with problems of seizures. What can that be? Okay, so I've got a whole video on, it's just a 2-part video on seizures, and you can look at that on YouTube that talks about this, about what you can do and the drugs that you can use. We have had a little bit of experience with this because we had a lab many, many years ago that had a seizure when it was about 6 months old.
A little bit older than that.
Well, okay,
I think
but
she was about 9 months.
Yeah.
She was almost a year old.
Right. And then the question was, should we breed her or not, which we didn't. But she then started to develop seizures, and they were actually, she had a lot of them close together. Over a period of an hour, she might have 3 or 4 seizures, and it was really rough.
Her whole body stiffened
so
up.
she ended
her
up,
muscles just stiffed.
She ended up getting on medication for this, but it was
she didn't know where she was at.
No, it was not good. So the thing about seizures, if you have a dog that goes into seizure, here's the things. First off, get the other dogs out of the way.
Yes.
Second thing is,
be careful, you could get bit.
That's right, you can get bit. Second thing is you can get bit. So be cautious about, basically the dog, you want to get the dog into a safe place. Now, for instance, if a dog has got a seizure because it's bitten into an electric cord, remove the electricity, get the cord away, unplug it. So there can be causes. You can get seizures because of poisons. If you've got a dog that's foaming in the mouth having seizures, probably time to go get to the vet and get some activated charcoal in it. And there are shots that can be given if you know what caused the seizure. If there's a package of snail bait that's ripped open and the dog's been eating it, if there's a whole bar of dark chocolate,
you better make a running
a whole bar
run fast
of dark
to the vet
chocolate.
if it's snail bait.
Right, but if you know that the dog's ingested something, it's time to go get it to the vet.
What is it you can give them that makes them throw up? Oh, is it the charcoal?
We give it charcoal.
Okay, but isn't there something else?
Yeah, there is. I could tell you what it is, but there's a shot you can give them, make them throw up. Yeah. But the point here is, what do? I think that if a dog's having repeated epileptic fits, it's time for some medication. And if you go look at that video, I can't remember the name of the medication, but there's medications that you can, number of anti-seizure medications that you can give. They have to be on it for life.
My beautiful cocker female is on her 8th day of heat today. Can you please give me advice on what is the best day to breed her without a progesterone test? My vet said they could only do so next Wednesday. Well, what I would do, just like in our labs on your bigger dogs, it's like if you know day 1 of heat, it was day 9, day 11, and day 13 that we bred our labs. And that was before progesterone testing. And that's how we got our labs pregnant. Day 9, day 11, and day 13 of heat. Also pay attention to the color of the blood. That also gives you an idea. And, you know, on bigger dogs, they said if you scratch the back of the top of their tail, where their tail meets their body, their tail will turn sideways.
Well, most dogs, all dogs do that, really.
Yeah, I think they all do too.
So when do most dogs get bred? When does, you know, blood color, let's talk about blood color. If you don't have the advantage of a progesterone test, by the way, which you do.
The lighter it gets, a brownish color, and the lighter it gets.
So it's going to go from looking like a murder scene, lots of red blood on the ground. The amount varies by dogs, but it's still very red in color, going almost pink around ovulation. And a couple of days later, it's vanilla and clear. And if you're at day 11 through 13 and the dog is receptive towards other dogs, and when you scratch on the back end, it moves its tail over, you're probably in a good place. And I would breed at least twice.
But when we bred Labradors, it was always day 9 we'd breed, day 11 we'd breed, and day 13. Yes, we did.
Yes, it might be, but I don't give that advice out today.
Well, if you had, because you've got progesterone machines
Well, because I know
now.
more about it. I wouldn't do that way today.
Well, we were successful every time with it. We did it for 8 years.
Well, okay.
Don't you argue with me on this.
Okay.
I know.
Okay, I'm not going to argue with you on this. Okay. I've got videos on this, we do, so go take a look. Okay, let's see. Listen B Kennels, thanks for joining us. By the way, somebody said give them a thumbs up and subscribe. Absolutely give us a thumbs up. We appreciate that.
I want to see James eat some more treats.
I've got
doggy treats.
Now we're at 49. I'm going to be safe on this.
Oh, I thought you said 50 and you ate one at 49.
Well, we had one person drop off because they're bored with us.
Oh, okay.
It happens, right? But anyway, Listen Michaela says, I love what you all got going on. Thank you. I got all collections on time. She used a collection from Mando. So she's waiting to see what Mando does. Mando is our full fluffy Merle. He's a gorgeous, really compact, beautiful dog. I see that Cody reduced the price here the other day, by the way, too. So, but he will make you some stunning babies.
Is that Listen B Kennels that you just read?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
He says I got all my collections on time, very happy, and he loves what Mando does, and he uses him in his camp.
So King Pup Kennels, here's a puppy
Thank you.
question. Any suggestions to get mom and dog to drink more water? Struggling with getting her to eat, even hard to get her to drink water. I think we're probably talking about a dog that's probably going through pregnancy. And look, as far as you getting the dog to drink water, I don't know any tricks on what you can do. I mean, you might try Pedialyte because maybe it'd be more interesting for them. I've never tried that.
Because of why are they
not
drinking?
We don't know. We just know they're not drinking water. So
put a little honey in it.
Oh, there you go.
See what happens.
Sure, there you go. Yeah, absolutely. Make it more interesting because you can't squirt water. Well, you can, but I mean, typically, and I don't drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of coffee. You self-regulate yourself. Some people need more hydration than others. The food side of it, when you've got a dog that's not eating food, what do you do? When you've got a dog that's not eating food, what do you do?
You got to hit me.
When you've got a dog, come on, what do you do? You know.
You put goat's milk on it, powdered goat's milk, anything to add a little good taste, little broth on it. What do you want me to say?
I want what you tell me. This is what Tami does, and this is what she does well. What do? Sometimes
hand feed her.
There you go.
Are you talking about after you have puppies?
No, I'm talking about a dog that won't eat food, period.
Okay.
For whatever reason, the dog won't eat food. Why would a dog not eat food? It's not well. Take his temperature, make sure that's not an issue. It's got awful diarrhea and stomach upset. If it's got that, go get a fecal exam. It could be morning sickness, absolutely. So A couple of weeks after AI, very typical for dogs have morning sickness. When they get close to whelp, they get full of puppies and they don't have room. They can't eat much food. So what do? You hand feed. I
do that.
You give them something that's unusual and different. Boiled egg. Put some cottage cheese on their food. Those dogs, by the way, that are pregnant are going to have puppies should be on a high protein diet, puppy food anyway. But the point here is different and unusual food and hand feeding can really make a difference.
Someone wants to know if the market's getting better. I sure think so. It might have taken a little bit longer, but I've had success on selling our puppies.
Well, you're so good at it, Tami. I mean, you really are.
That's thanks to my daddy. He was a
I mean, I think it's because of your smarts and your people, the way that you get along with people and how interactive you are with people who call and how quickly you get back to them and the videos that we take. And I think all these, and our reputation, all.
Gift of gab.
So one of the things that I see people are they're waiting for the market to come back like it was in 2019.
It's not going to do that.
It's not going to do that. That was an unusual situation with COVID.
Yeah. You got to get over that. You got to get over that. Yeah. You got to move on and get over it. You've got to get in there and make your sales, advertise early, the day they're born, take a video of them, put that up. Look at our new babies, the day they open their eyes, the day you get the DNA done, do the DNA test with the removing of the dew claws and send that off to animal genetics. And you get your answer on these puppies when they're like a week and a half old. Then you can start telling people exactly what your puppies have and what they're going to be carrying and just, you know, you advertise weekly. It's just, you got to be out there. If you're not out there, you're not selling.
So we've got a course on on breeder101.com. It's actually our most popular course. It is, I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's basically about how to market puppies. And it will make a big difference because I'm sure there's it's not expensive course. It comes with a money back guarantee. And I'm pushing the course now. But the point here is there is a huge difference between what we get done and what most of you are getting done on your puppy sales. So it does make a huge difference, and the secret to this is many, many things, but it's good videos.
Good videos.
Lots
videos are easy to get pictures off of. If you're trying to do pictures, oh my gosh. You know, when they're little, you can do it, but the older they get, you're going to have to do videos.
But we're not going to go into all this here because we want you to go buy our course. Right? But the course will really help you. So the answer to this question was, will the market come back? If you look at what the market was pre-COVID, I believe it's there now. Now, when people were getting $5,000 to $7,000 a dog pre-COVID, and all of a sudden those dogs were worth $20,000, the $20,000 is gone. It will never probably be again in our lifetime. But we're back to where we were pre-COVID, and that's what it should be. The market has corrected itself because it was just crazy, stupid high. It's come back down. It definitely is harder to sell puppies than it was before. It takes more work, but but be responsive.
But this is what you got into it for.
That's right. That's right.
Sell, sell, sell. Get out there. Be seen.
So Sharon Nix, by the way, sent me an email about 3 questions that she wanted, and I really like the fact that she took the time.
Oh, I know what I was going to do. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead with your answer.
Tell me doing something.
Yeah, because one of the questions she asked, I'm going to demonstrate.
Sharon Nix she asked 3 questions, so I'm going to address one of those questions, and the other 2 I'll address here in a little bit. So one of them was, and I really need Tami here for it, she's gone away, so we'll answer that question. So the question was, at what point do you start worrying with taping puppies' legs up because they've got flat chests?
Pretend this is a puppy.
Oh, well, here you go. This is relevant.
Pretend this is a puppy. Excuse the tag. There's its little back legs. Look, it's all splayed out, right? So I'm going to take my 1/2-inch first aid tape. This one is the best one. It sticks the best.
Can I just say something
Johnson
real quick
&
here?
Johnson.
The problem we're talking about here is puppies that are getting their back legs, they're not getting their legs underneath them. They are out like this. That those dogs then never get up on their feet properly, and they put pressure on their chest that produces a flat chest. So the answer to this is that you tape the back legs up, so they have to, all of a sudden, they can't swim around like this. They have to get their legs up underneath them, and the solution to this is to tape their back legs up. You can start doing this about the point where their eyes are open. So day 10.
Well,
day 10, 2 weeks.
That's too early.
Okay, but it can't do any harm by it. The point here is if you've got one puppy in your litter, it's a big fat puppy.
Okay, do you see what I'm doing while you're yakking away? Okay, so this, you see I've got it in the middle, and I've got this one, I did too much tape. And I got it like this, and it's above the little hock and like what I would call the elbow.
So if that leg was bending there, it'd be up here. It'd be up here.
Then you take this to secure it in there. I got too much tape.
Wrap it around the middle to make it so it doesn't come undone.
Right. Wrap it in the middle.
Yep. And there it is. And so people ask how long.
Stuck on the tag.
People say how long should you leave that? How long should you leave that on for?
Oh, as long as you can until it's.
Well, I can give you the answer to this. It's going to be taken off within 12 hours by the other puppies and mum. So you're going to be putting it back on again.
The older they are, it definitely will be. The younger they are, it won't.
Keep on doing it till a puppy's walking around.
See, it's secured in there like this. And so this makes that puppy stand up on this.
It can no longer swim. It can no longer swim.
It's not going to be on its chest flat. It's going to pull this up. And then it's going to automatically, when it starts to get up on its back end, it's going to pull its legs up this way, and it's going to stand. Oh, sorry.
And how long do you normally see this to start working?
Oh, within
sometimes
3 days.
Or sometimes hours.
Yeah.
I mean,
you'll see it immediately. And you can be there to help push that puppy up.
Can this be used on rabbits too?
It can be used on anything. Used on you. I'll tie you up and let you just lay there. But anyway, that's kind of like what we're talking about.
Fluffy Furry Frenchie says peroxide induces vomiting. Okay, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Hydrogen peroxide. Interesting. There you go.
Yeah. Peroxide. Great stuff. Yeah.
Patrick Rose says, I have a cream girl. She just had her second litter and had them naturally again. I had a vet ready for the C-section. But the first time she just had them naturally, 6 puppies in 2 hours. Right, so there you go. That's the secret to this. Well, it's not the secret to it. The thing that you just said, that is she had 6 puppies in 2 hours. Charles has had 1 puppy and not another one for 4 hours. That is the worrisome part about what Charles has done.
Yeah. Somebody wanted to know, I think it was Tiff wanted to know, when do you let puppies outside, meaning outside on the grass. I don't let my puppies outside on the grass until they've had their first 6-week shot. Sometimes I may even wait till 9 weeks. But if it's on concrete, yeah, I said that right. I went blank. You're fine to go that way. But it's the grass and what went across your grass and puppies can catch. But I'm just a worrywart. So
and you would never let your puppies on grass that had other dogs on it. Right? So that's important here, isn't it? In our backyard, the only dogs that have been on our grass backyard are our other 4 females that we have. And a couple of cats and nothing else. So we know what's going on with those 4 dogs. And by the way, if a dog, by the way, had an upset stomach and had been out there.
No, they don't go out there.
Don't go out there.
Well, I don't, until they've had their 9-week shot, they don't even go out there where my girls are.
Right.
We have another area that our puppies can be in if I let them out on the grass, but I don't. I let them stay on the concrete. So, if they've had their second 9-week shot, that's kind of
Here's a good question from Prawler TF. Should a breeder reduce the price of their last remaining puppy from a litter of 4 who is 12 weeks old? Each puppy sold for $5,000. New customers prefer to spend $2,000 to $3,000.
Okay, it's up to you.
Yep.
How bad do you want to get the puppy out? Do you have an area that your puppy can be in that you're happy with and that puppy's happy with? But yeah, you can reduce the price if you want. It's up to you to decide that.
And one of the reasons, by the way,
you can do this as pet only if you'd like also.
One of the reasons why this is the last puppy is probably because it's the least desirable puppy in the litter.
Well, not always.
Not always.
Not always.
No, but the point here is...
It's the color too, James.
Well, absolutely. I don't disagree. But I mean, but the point you're saying is...
less desired.
I'm just saying maybe. Tammy's had a couple of husbands, and I'm the least desirable one. I know that, but I mean, heck, there we go. But,
you're fixing to be out of here.
Yeah, it's like, reduce my price to $1. See if some people are coming.
Nobody will want you. I'll have to go to 50 cents, if that.
Put a $5 or $1 check on my neck and see if somebody will come pick me up. Look, also, the other thing about this is how long do you want to put up with a puppy in your house? The older the puppy it is, the harder it is to sell it. Now, if this is going to go to somebody who wants to breed
I don't
the
know.
dog,
There's some people that want an older puppy.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So
I mean,
Oh, if they want to breed the dog, if that's okay with you and that's what their plan is, then, for me, picking a dog up that was 4 months old, I have a much better idea about what that dog's going to look like, its structure and everything else. So, but, do you want to have one puppy in your house for the next, 2 months while this find a home for it? The answer to that is probably no. So what do? You reduce the price. That's right. And Reduce the price.
Your first one you always sell for more.
Yes.
I mean, you're not going to be hurt by it
Every
at
week
all.
you reduce the price
No.
by $100 or more until a puppy finds a good home. Yeah.
Remember, that's the most important thing. What kind of home is your puppy going to go to?
Sam S. has got a question here that I like. When buying our heated whelping box, can you put the puppies in there without the oxygen machine? And what is a must when I take my mama to the vet for her C-section? We want the puppies to survive. All right. So multiple questions, so you're going to get more than one answer here. So the first thing is, we sell a product which is patented by me, that's now been around for over a decade, that we have, I don't know, 5,000, 10,000 people use it, a lot of people. It works extraordinarily well. So we're going to push that because we believe that is absolutely, singularly, absolutely the best way to have puppies. And the way it works is that you put your puppy, your mum, into a crate. Depending on the size of the dog, you choose the appropriate crate. We sell you a heat tape that goes on the bottom, underneath the floor of the crate, that brings heat up through the floor in only one area. All the way around the perimeter inside of your crate, directly underneath the pig rail. Why does this work? Because you're not introducing any extra heat for mum that she doesn't like. Mum wants to be with her baby. She's not stepping up and stepping down because she's getting too hot and stepping on a puppy. Puppies are nursing on mum. When they're finished, they're on this cool floor. They migrate to a hot area, which is just underneath the pig rail.
It's not hot.
Well, warm.
Very warm.
And they spend almost all their time on the pig
Comfortably
rail.
warm for
Mum
the
can't get
babies.
out, and mum doesn't want to get out. So that, by the way, is
She's a happy
singularly, I think, I haven't seen anything else that even comes close to our system. It's a couple of $100 for the system. It will make your life so much easier. It will make your mama dog so much happier, and it will chances of getting things like milk aspiration, squish puppies reduced dramatically.
And you can buy the tape by itself if you've got something similar to that to put the tape on yourself on underneath the tray.
Well, we could buy a tape. When you buy it from us, you buy tape and a thermostat for $200. Nice, 200. I mean, I don't know what the exact price is. I think Cody's got discounted a little bit at the moment. But the point here is...
But the cage idea is wonderful because you know where mama's at it all the time, and she's not getting in and out of the area that she needs to be with her babies if she's having problems staying with them, or if she decides to move them because the other dogs are around and she's afraid. That's why we cover it with a blanket for the first week, for sure, 2 weeks, depending on if you have any cold drafts coming in, you want to keep a blanket around it completely.
We can build a tape to go on any system you have. People buy Easy Whelp and DuraWhelp boxes.
Because
it works with us.
Frenchie babies can get pneumonia real easy. That's why I keep a blanket around it.
The Easy Whelp system, the mama can get out. So I would not leave my dog personally in a system like that, because the next thing you know, you come home and the puppies aren't in there, or one puppy's missing.
Or she's jumped back in, or
on a puppy.
climbed over the deal
with
and
the puppy in the
jumped on
mouth.
the puppy.
Took the puppy and put it somewhere, the puppy got cold.
Yeah.
It's much better to have a dog under lock and key where it physically can't get out, and the mama likes it.
It's just a cage.
But the point here is that mums absolutely love this. I mean, you'd think that they'd rather have it so they could be where they want to. No. They want a nice, dark, safe place where they feel comfortable, and they will feel like that with what Tami's talking about, a crate with a blanket over it. It works wonderfully well.
It's like covering a bird cage.
So then the question is, what temperature?
And the other thing that's good about our heated whelping system, there are no wires that go inside that cage. So many times I see people go, oh, well, we've got a heating pad. We put that in there. Well, there's a wire that goes to that heating pad that mama dog's not going to like because it's a foreign object that she wants out of there. Yes, and you don't want that.
Plus, mum's getting heat, she doesn't want it.
No.
It's just the wrong thing to do. Just like heat lamp. Heat lamps suck. I hate heat lamps. So they asked what the temperature is. You set our system up to 104 degrees. That's the temperature it sets to the perimeter. You can adjust it, but 104 works beautifully. In our incubator that we sell, our portable incubator, you set that up to about 38 degrees centigrade. It is not a forced air incubator. Other incubators will be different temperatures. But ours is not a forced air incubator. It is just heat comes up through the floor. What's the advantage of this? It doesn't dry the air out. You don't have to have a humidifier. The puppies don't get dried out.
It's got a little light in there too.
And there's nothing to break. You can take the thing and throw it against the wall, and there's no moving parts like fans or light bulbs that can break. So it is very robust. You can plug it into a car.
There's a large and a small.
Yep, you can plug it into a car, 12-volt power supply. You can plug it into your home, 110 volts. You can
we have it for the UK, over in the UK.
And it works, the same one works in the UK, 220 volts too. So I love it. I mean, again, I hate to kind of just make this, it's not really a sales advert about it.
No,
it just flat works.
Yeah.
It just flat works.
I don't know what I'd do without it.
$300. $300. Now you can, for instance, if you've got a C-section that's going to cost you $4,000 in Manhattan, maybe you can get off the island and go to a place, you know, somewhere else in New York that costs you $1,000 and save yourself a ton of money.
Because you bring the babies back inside that,
Yeah,
and
right.
it stays nice and warm, plugged into your car as you're
So
driving.
we answered one of Sharon Nix's questions. I hope it's Sharon. I think it's Sharon. But, so the next question was, what can you do with a mum where her belly has got sore spots because the puppies have been nursing in the wrong place?
Well, toenails on puppies, you've got to keep those toenails trimmed because they're constantly nursing like this or pushing against each other, trying to get in there. They're scratching her little belly and making sores, and it might upset mama to where it hurts, and she's liable to, you know, try to bite at one because it hurts so bad. So keep those toenails trimmed on those babies, and I mean, within that first week, you'll see how long their toenails grow. It's unbelievable how fast little toenails grow. So keep those trimmed up, and
So that's
keep
one
her
thing.
little belly clean so she doesn't get an infection. You know, she's got
Number
that
two.
scar there anyway.
In fact, check the scar,
because
right?
of all the sweat and the puppies nursing, and you know, it's just, it needs to be clean.
And they've got poop on them that's got onto her belly, so you don't want that, you know, again, you want to kind of keep it as clean as you can. So, but then let's say that she does have a sore, that she is getting scratch marks, then what do you do? Because that's what she's really asking.
Yeah. Well, you clean it off real well, and you could put Neosporin on that.
Neosporin.
And it'll,
Neosporin is completely safe. If a puppy gets out of mouth, not going to hurt them. You can put a hand lotion on it.
No,
You
don't
could
put hand lotion. Do a Neosporin.
You could put Vaseline on it, but I mean, you want something that makes it a bit slicker and helps. You know, look, if you have dry hands, if you get a cut, you know, Neosporin or hand cream, they make a big difference, and that's the same thing with your dog. So that's the answer to that one.
Oh, somebody, Joshua, says, he says, thanks, Tami and James. Most of my dogs come from Cody, and most of my products have come from James. All my success is owed to you guys.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
We're
Appreciate
at 57.
that.
I don't think I'm going to eat the other treat. I think I'm going to get away from eating the other treat. We've got 30 more people.
Come on, we got to have, what did I say, 75?
So give us a thumbs up. We want a thumbs up. Look, the thumbs are up at 19. If I can
Subscribe
get the, if I
to
can get
us,
the thumbs up to 30, which is another 11 people, then I will eat the other treat. All right.
Okay, John Merlot says we have 2 heated whelping systems, had both going at once last year.
Good, great.
Great.
SV Kennels, how fast will a PG go down
Would
to
not be
2
without the
nanograms per minute in the
portable
last few
incubator.
days of pregnancy? My girl was at 18.74 last night, and she's at day 60 or 61 now. So the first thing is, you're going for a target that's lower than what you need to. I say 3 is really safe. 3.5 if she's been many days past when her due date is. The problem with this is the progesterone level tells you absolutely nothing about when it will be 3. It's just a go, no-go thing. And I see this a lot, where vets will make statements like, oh, she's at a 10 today, she'll be ready tomorrow. Baloney, BS, bullshit. We had a dog actually it was when we were in Yukon House. She was at a 16.7. We knew we were close, her temperature had dropped. And the next morning, her PG level was 2.5. We had puppies and it was all fine. So the point here is it went from 16 to 2.5 overnight, 12 hours.
Within hours.
Within hours. So you cannot take a PG level and get anything from it other than knowing you're in a safe place. There's other things that you do to tell you how close you are. Probably the biggest one is temperature. Most dogs, temperatures in the hundreds, drops down slowly over the next week prior to whelp to go down below 99.0. Puppies within a day. A dog's not eating food, puppies in a day. A dog that's nesting, probably 12 hours. A dog that's panting heavily, probably 6 hours. Then do a PG test. If it's like 3.5 or 3, you're safe.
Yeah. Tony's saying, can puppies be on concrete outdoors with confined space before they get their 3rd shot? Yes, on concrete that you've cleaned, but make sure they're supervised.
Yes. I think Tiff, somebody said there, or Josh was
Somebody
replying to
says
it.
where they can find this. I don't know what they're asking on where they can find this.
Well, let me just answer this real quick. Somebody's talking about putting, I think Tiff may have mentioned this, put some obstacles in a box, in a whelping box, wrap towels and beds. Look, I think one of the things you absolutely have to have always, right from day one, is to have something down there that gives traction.
Always, yeah. I always put a pee pad underneath my white towels with my babies. I'll have my white towel, cheap white towels from Walmart. I fold those in half, and Mama and the babies are all on that white towel. There's a little area that is the pee pad that's underneath part of that white towel, but extends out to where her water bowl is, that's not very full of water because of the babies being in there, and then where her food bowl sits.
You're such a wise one.
And so, but anyway, so they crawl around on it. But the bigger they get, the more I let that towel be a little bit more in there. So that's the traction that I use. Some people said something about floor mats, little anything that'll pull, make them pull their legs up and be able to
Here's
have
the things
traction.
to watch out for there as well. You want something you can clean up easily.
You don't want a thick towel, I know that, because
with our heated system, you don't, because it'll block the heat. So you don't want a thick towel, and you don't want something that can get underneath and get covered up and get lost.
Yeah, every once in a while you'll find a baby that's underneath that towel, gotten in underneath there some way.
Yes.
I always fold the edges in and fold, whatever edges in that's not folded.
Yes.
So,
So there's different ways to do this.
it's keeping an eye out on your babies, not just leaving Mama in there and not paying any attention to her, because you've got to pay attention. You've got to keep Mama ears open for listening what's going on, because you can tell what kind of cries they make. If it's a desperate cry, you'll know that cry.
That was nice. People saying Joshua Fairchild and John Mallow say nice things about our portable incubator, heat tape. Well worth the money, wouldn't be without it. Great, good for you.
Yeah, thank y'all so much. I don't know what we'd do without ours.
Debo says, I think she's talking about our stud service. So the stud service is you pay $500 towards the stud fee when you get started, not the whole stud fee.
When you pick out the stud that you want.
We
try to direct you, but you get to choose who you want.
Yeah, we give you advice.
Because if you know your DNA of your female, because we definitely know the DNA
we
of our
can
studs,
know what the possibilities
on
of
what
colours
you're
are.
wanting to get.
Right, we're going to help you with that. Right. So $500 down goes towards the stud fee. $200 per shipment, that can't be refunded ever because that's a lost cause, but we like 2 shipments. So typically you're going to pay $900 to get rolling with us. The balance of the stud fee, when you're ready to pay it, if you pay it off within 50 days of AI, Cody will send you a free portable incubator or whelping system.
That makes it
Everything
nice.
comes with a guarantee.
If you pay it off early.
The guarantee is if you don't have puppies, the $500 you spent goes forward to any future breeding of any of your girls to any of our studs. And every single female that you produce from one of our pairings comes with lifetime half-price breedings. And that's transferable with the puppy. So if you keep the puppy, you get the benefit of it. If you sell the puppy, then the future only that puppy gets benefit of it. So that's a pretty good deal. Okay. Tiff Turk says Epsom salts and a warm towel. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Oh,
well,
I think we're talking
Mama's
about
you clean it off.
Rash,
yes. You clean it off before the puppies get back on her, because salt isn't good for the pups. Make sure you clean that all off. I haven't done that before. I've just used regular warm, a wash rag with a little bit of soap, and then I wash that off. I don't soak in wet because those stitches are there. I just wipe it clean.
25 thumbs. I'm maybe going to, in 58 people, I'm getting close to having to eat another, What is your favorite cleaner for concrete? Polly Johnson asks.
Cleaner for concrete.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that Wizzy Wash. It's good stuff.
Goes on the end of the hose.
Yeah. If you don't have Wizzy Wash, good old Pine Sol with baking soda and peroxide mixed together with a little dish soap, it'll clean that up too.
Bleach, 1/10 bleach.
Well, you got to be careful with bleach. You want to make sure, because bleach is very strong smelling for the puppy's lungs.
Sniper disinfectant. I don't know that product, but that's one to look at.
But Wizzy Wash is great stuff. Just very good stuff if you can find it. So we used to sell it.
So Debo says $900 up front, and the rest once pups aboard. Yes, for $900 you get any stud device you want to choose,
and the shipping,
and you get 2 shippings.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Exactly. Exactly.
And then if you pay it off early, you get that free incubator or free heated whelping system, whichever one. I don't know.
Tony says, what about kennel sole? I don't know the product, but it sounds good. I mean, it's obviously specifically made for kennels. So the secret to this is you want to have something that's got knockdown power, like a regular disinfectant like bleach, but you also want to have something that's doesn't have minimal interaction with your dogs if they get it on their paws and their feet. And I mean, the secret to all this is flush it off properly.
Yeah. Well, make sure the water bowls are turned upside down. And if you think you got it in the water bowls, clean those water bowls out, start fresh.
Yep.
Make sure their food bowls definitely not around. So when you're doing this stuff, make sure everything's not where the dog can eat it or drink it.
So Sharon Nix's question, a third question she sent me an email about. By the way, this is a great way, if you've got questions that pertain to what we're talking about, which is supposed to be puppies in this case, then to send us an email or a text ahead of time lets us kind of be prepared for it. The third question she asked was, what was the third question? One was about the puppies' bellies. One was about taping the puppies. Oh, tails. She asked about tails on dogs.
What kind of dog does she raise?
Frenchies, I think. But either way, so let's talk about Frenchies. Frenchy tails. What can you see? Tami, tell us about the tails that you can see on Frenchies and what they mean and what you think about them.
Well, there's what you call a gay tail, but you don't realize it's a gay tail till the puppy gets a little older. And that's where the little tail, where's my bunny rabbit? My bunny's got a gay tail. Straight up in the air. But I like to see my tails.
Or longer, that's a gay tail, isn't it, on a Frenchie? Yeah.
I like my tails to be down like this. For show quality, it has to be perfectly over the little bun hole. But sometimes it doesn't happen. I had a woman that wanted to buy a puppy from us that was in show business, and she was telling me
educated you exactly what was okay and what wasn't.
And I said, come down here and look at it, because I'd taken pictures and pictures and pictures for her, and so I said, just come down here.
Excuse me, everybody.
So she ended up getting that puppy.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's a gay
would be a
tail.
little gay tail.
Corkscrew tail.
Corkscrew tail is where it twists, and if it ticks in this way, the older it gets, sometimes it buries in there. You may have to go to the vet and let them do something with that.
So people think that a corkscrew tail means there's a problem with the spine, and I say baloney. I don't believe it's got diddly squat to do with the spine, otherwise that dog could be in all kinds of... So a corkscrew tail is not preferred, but I don't think that it's a severe problem. Now, an inverted tail, one where a dog has virtually no tail whatsoever at all, or it's sunk in, that can produce problems with poop and muck and get impacted.
And go into the bathroom, period.
Yes, so that can be a problem.
Because they need that little tail to kind of like...
Yeah. Well, on a Frenchie, what you'd like to see is a short tail that covers its butthole, and it's centered nicely.
I got little short thumbs, but about that length.
But I
where my knuckle is.
What I don't want to see, by the way, I don't want to see a long tail on a Frenchie, period. I mean, I just don't. I mean, I would never buy a Frenchie with a long tail.
Well,
personally.
that's where something else is coming in from way down the line.
Yeah, I mean,
way down the line.
I mean, look, I mean, but do we pick a dog out based on its tail?
No.
No, we don't. We don't. That's just as look. No dogs are perfect. Every dog's got a wart somewhere. The tail part of it is probably the least important part to me, unless it's got a long tail, then it's next. Other than that, I'm just not that bothered about the tail personally. Other people will say differently, and if you don't agree, chime in now, and we'll tell you that you're idiots. No, we won't.
Okay, somebody's saying do not put Epsom salt on there. I've never used it, but supposedly Tiff has, and she apparently wipes it off pretty clean, so there's not a problem there. I just use a warm washcloth to clean it off.
I think anytime you're using any
anytime I use a warm washcloth, I turn it over and use the other side. You know, this is probably every 2 days I do that whenever a female's got an incision there, unless it really gets dirty real quick before the second day.
Yes, I mean, there are antiseptic wipes that you can get specifically for dogs too, or for humans. I mean, you can absolutely use those.
Yeah,
right?
but I'm always cautious about what goes in my puppy's mouths.
If you see it, if you put something on a dog and then you see it going red, 10 minutes later, get the damn stuff off. It's going to having an allergic reaction. So I don't think there's anything that's going to guarantee not to have a problem. Right.
Okay.
Looking back through here.
Somebody said the heated tape system is the best thing I've ever used. It is well worth the money. Thanks.
How and when do you remove puppies' dew claws? You're up, Tammy. That's
how soon on puppies' dew claws?
How and when?
How and when? When the puppies are, if all the puppies are doing real good weight-wise, you can remove those claws at day 4. if you got a puppy that's not as well as the others, you may want to wait till that puppy's like 5 or 6. Don't wait a week. A week, the little dew claw is forming little bones in there after that week. So it can be pretty painful. But if you do it early, like I said, on the day 4, it's painless for them. The only reason why they cry out is when you're holding them down to do it. I don't like it. James does it, but meaning why I don't like it is I don't like to do it. So I let James do it because I'm just like, ooh.
Well, when you do
it's my babies.
When you do it, they don't like being held down, and they'll start fighting you the moment they're held down, and sometimes they'll squeal a little bit. It's more being held down than it is the actual remove the dew claw.
Yeah, but that's as soon as you can do it, like day 4.
So I've got videos on this. The dew claw removal is so simple. We have never ever single time, and I've done many hundreds of these. Never one time have we had a problem with an infection. You can have a nail grow back because you didn't get it deep enough. And that's just the way that it is. You just let it go on and don't worry about it. Do you have to do this? No.
No.
Is it okay by the AKC? Yes. It's one of the few things that you can do.
Used to a long time ago, people were like, "Oh no, that'll be disqualification."
No, disqualification.
No, it's not.
Right. If you're going to do a DNA test through people like Animal Genetics, it's really a great way of giving them DNA material because it's very reliable and you can get it done very early on.
You know what we haven't talked about on puppies? When you bring your puppies home, you're to weigh them.
So talk about that.
Write down their weights.
Why?
Well, because the puppies, what they weigh the day you bring them home from after being born, they'll lose a ½ ounce the day after. So the next day, day 2, the next day would be day 2. The day after that is day 3. If they're not gaining a ½ ounce back and a ½ ounce every day after that, then you got to pay attention to that puppy. So it's a ½ ounce every day that they'll get back. You bring them home, weigh them, they'll lose a ½ ounce. Then they'll gain a ½ ounce, and they're supposed to gain a ½ ounce every day after that. If you've got a puppy that's not gaining that ½ ounce but staying the same, you might want to just bottle feed. Let somebody play with it and give it bottle food. If it's losing that ½ ounce, not gaining it, and not staying the same, and it's losing the ½ ounce, you want to tube feed that baby.
Well, okay, I'm going to say it slightly different the way you said it, but the same way generally. So what you expect to see is puppies will lose ½ ounce over the first 24 hours. They need to gain the ½ ounce there on afterwards. Closing their eyes. So the question here is it a single puppy or is it a whole litter? If it's a single puppy, then that puppy could be supplemented, like Tami's saying, with a bottle, or maybe have to tube feed it.
And if it's the whole litter, then you got to worry about mama's milk.
There you go, mama's milk. So what is going on? So
day 3 is when mama's milk should be coming in. That's where you'll notice her panting a lot because she's got this rush of milk.
Which is okay.
Overheating. That's fine because that's what she's supposed to do.
But what could be a problem? Some mums, especially first-time mums, don't produce a lot of milk to start with, and they kind of comes in.
That's where I feed cottage cheese with my Biljack.
Mastitis.
Yes.
So you can have a dog that's got a blocked teat that gets really inflamed and sore, she doesn't want to nurse, and that dog can go downhill. So be careful. If you've got a whole litter, you should be checking boobs daily anyway.
Boobs?
Boobs. Titties, whatever you want to call them. You should be checking them daily to make sure that you don't have a problem so you can get on top of it quickly. But if you've got a dog that is not gaining weight, if you let that go on for too long, that puppy will not make it. So you're forced into, number 1, put your finger in the dog's mouth. If it suckles, it's warm and it's moist, you can probably bottle feed that puppy. If it won't suckle, you're going to have to tube feed. So you need to get a tube feed rig. And by the way, you should have got a puppy care kit because you have all that stuff ready to go. If a puppy continues not to nurse and you have to tube feed, then maybe it's time to think about something like maybe antibiotics, especially if there's like milk aspiration, it's got a discharge from its nose. This could be aspiration pneumonia, and the way to treat that is to definitely get Clavamox, basically amoxicillin in that puppy's system as soon as you reasonably can.
Okay, this person asked a question a long time ago about how early can you do a pregnancy test that we sell. The earliest you can do the pregnancy test, which James did on Kit, just because he gets overly excited to see if Kit's going to have babies, he tested her at day 30.
Yes.
Which I like to wait till almost day 40, but she tested positive.
So if you look
so
at
day
the test,
30 to day 35 or day 40.
The test kit says day 24. But I think that generally tests like that and ultrasounds are not very reliable till you get to day 30. So the problem is false negatives. With ultrasounds, the problem is they misinterpret poop in the intestines as being a puppy. And generally, I think ultrasounds, they can be useful and give you an idea about how many puppies are there, but they are probably the most likely to cause you to think your dog is not pregnant when it is, or it isn't pregnant, or it is pregnant when it's not. Not a big fan of ultrasounds personally, but there's a lot of you use them. I like the relaxed pregnancy test. I don't need to know how many puppies are coming down because I'm having a C-section. But if I was having a natural birth and I wasn't sure what was going on, you can always do an X-ray, and that's going to be done after day 50, so the bones have calcified so that you can see how many skulls are there and count puppies.
Okay, somebody says they used NutriCal to get them started on the nipples.
Sure. Yeah. So NutriCal is just a high caloric kind of comes in a tube. We've used it before. We used to use it for chihuahuas. Or chihuahuas in particular.
Oh, but not on the nipples of the mama dog to get the puppies to nurse on it. That's what that's what I understand, to get them started.
No, I think what you're saying is you
nipples.
put NutriCal in their mouth and get them going generally, because it gives them some extra sugary kind of.
Yeah, but you always want to make sure your puppies are nursing the day that they're being brought home. What am I trying to think of? The colostrum. They got to have that. It helps with the
So two more quick questions that we're done here because we're already over 6 minutes. Laurie Harrison asks, Sherman says, what food do you recommend feeding your puppies at 9 weeks?
Oh.
I'm picking up in a few weeks. Good old quality kibble that's a puppy food at 9 weeks. Should be on that.
Well, hopefully they're eating kibble.
Yes, absolutely. They've got to be before they can leave.
We start ours, when they're 3 weeks old, they're eating mama's Biljack. So that's when I decide, that's when I go and get the Life Abundance puppy and moisten that with warm water and let it set for about 40 minutes and then smash it all up to a mush, wet gravy, and let them lick that, a real runny gravy, and let them lick that. So that goes on for about, a week. And then the next week, I let it get a little thicker each time. And then by the time they're 5 weeks, it's just a wet, round kibble. Then by the time they're 6 weeks, they are eating that kibble pretty good.
Might be away from
dry.
At that point, yes.
Yeah.
Got 4 more subscriptions. I'll need another treat, but I've got to have 4 more sign-ups, 4 more thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up.
Let's make James
I'm not going to like this one. If you want me
turkey and berries.
If you want me to eat this,
treats.
I need to have 4 more people give us a thumbs up. Otherwise, Tammy's going to eat it.
Hey.
Otherwise, Tammy's going to eat it.
I can go get you some castor oil if we hit
No. So Joshua says
he already
here
ate this one.
that they
You missed it.
talking about ultrasounds being done correctly, and I think what he says here is exactly right. The skill level interpretation that comes from the vet tech doing it is crucial to this. Somebody who's not done very many of them is not going to be very good. Somebody who's done lots and lots of them has got a good chance of getting it done successfully. So the problem is you don't know. Everybody says, "Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm great at this."
On what?
Ultrasounds.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of technique involved in it.
Okay. I thought you were talking about C-sections on.
No.
Yeah, when you're going to do your homework about finding what vet, if you can find a country vet, find cheaper prices, you ask that vet, how many times have you done C-sections on snub-nosed dogs, short-nosed dogs? And if they've done several, then you feel pretty safe about that. Then ask them about emergency. Are they around for emergency calls?
Damn it, give me a treat.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to run through this treat And if it's horrible, I'm just going to dump the whole video
Oh, the
right now.
dogs. This is, well,
their favorite?
I don't know. They like both.
Mr.
real
Clean has
well.
asked this question twice, so I'll tell me this.
get a
End
big
of
one.
November was my female's last.
This is like beef jerky.
was her first
This
heat.
is the turkey and berries here.
When do you think she'll have a second one? Oh, that's good. Let's have a sniff. Oh my goodness. That smells like stink bait.
No, it's turkey and berries. That ought to be good, James. The other one was real good. It's like a cookie. This
No.
is like beef jerky. Is it not good?
I think for a dog would love it. It's got a lot of strong flavors to it. It does taste a bit beef jerky-ish. It's very soft. I think that if I was on a desert island and all I had was bags of this to eat, I'd be looking forward to breakfast. But I like the other one better, but it's not bad. I mean, it's got definitely
And
a
that's
bit of
the
an
Life
aftertaste.
Abundance treats that we
Yeah.
sell on our website.
Yeah, not bad.
MyBreederSupply.com.
Right, so
Yeah,
the last one here
yeah.
is Jordan Royal's laughing.
He's laughing
Yeah.
with tears running out of his, yeah, I laugh too. He used to gross the
That one
grandkids
goes
out.
good with a Cabernet Sauvignon, by the way.
He used to get kibble in his hand and show the grandkids that he would be eating the kibble.
No,
that
we
he'd
play a
be-
game where we'd stand
I'm-
across the room and you'd throw it, and you had to have your mouth
No,
open.
you used to stand there and toss it in your mouth. And,
Last question here. Mr. Clean, my female had a first heat, end of November. When do you think she'll get a second heat? So this is a kind of a two-part
well,
answer.
Figgy's back in heat again, and her puppies are like 22 weeks, or should be about that age now, 24 weeks.
December, January, February, March, April, May. That's when you'd expect most dogs typically will have heats 6 months apart, regardless of whether they've been bred or not. Some dogs can stretch it to a year. Young dogs with their first heat, the next heat can be very irregular. It may be short, maybe just 3 months out, and it might even be 9 months out. So what do? Absolutely nothing. Wait, be patient, it'll come. The only thing that I know of that's safe and reliable is to put that dog with another girl in heat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's other games that you can play with things like PG600, which I absolutely do not think you should be doing in a young dog or a dog that's had more than 2 years between heats. So don't get impatient. Almost always, I mean, we have never, well, that's true, not true, we had one dog. Only one dog in our whole history of doing this, we had a dog that didn't go into heat, and that was Honey. That beautiful pied girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was the only one.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
That
All
we
the
got
other
from
dogs,
Shelley and them, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
She didn't.
oh, right, it's really a shame. It was
Yeah.
a beautiful dog.
Yeah.
She didn't go into heat for Shelley, and Shelley then said, well, look, we've got a couple of dogs, and we said, well, take this one and see what you can do. Could never get a
We
bred.
weren't lucky at all with that.
All right, there we go. For those of you who helped me eat that treat, I say, to hell with you all. And to those of you who participated, we say thank you very much.
Yeah.
And if you've got some ideas about what you'd like the next one to be, because this one was generally on puppies, which it was, if you've got a particular things that you think we should be talking about, then number one, you can ask questions ahead of time, and you can make suggestions on what the topic should be.
Yeah.
So,
And then I've got to tell you, Cody's got full fluffies and fluffy carriers to sell. He's got some that are like 15 weeks old, so you know you're going to get a good buy off of that.
That's right.
He's got some others that are like 6 weeks old that are just as cute as they can be. His phone number and his website is My Frenchies of Texas. And his phone number, which is my son, Cody, 806-664-0173 is his phone number. And Cherub's whelping them. And so if you want to FaceTime, she'll FaceTime those babies.
I'm
too.
blocking Laurie Harrison.
Why? What did
She said next time I think we should try milk bones, talking about what I should be eating.
Yeah, I think I ought to give him a dose of castor oil if we get 100.
Okay, next time you can all choose what I eat if I get enough subscribers. If I get more than 30 likes next time, you can all decide what I'm going to eat ahead of time, and I'll get it and I'll eat it. And if it's disgusting, so be it. All right, thanks for watching.
Bye. Give Cody a call if you want a puppy.
What's his number?
806-664-0173.
Bye,
Full
buddy.
fluffies and fluffy
Here we
carriers.
go. We're out of here.
Bye.